All right, tonight we're going to talk about Benjamin Christensen's legendary silent film, Haxan. All right, welcome back from the intro. So tonight we're talking about Haxan, a film by Benjamin Christensen. I have the one in the thumbnail, and I have here the version by Criterion. Um, excellent copy. In the thumbnail, I also included that the picture of Radiance Films release. They had the limited edition box sets on pre-order; those sold out, and now they have the standard version on pre-order that come out in June or July. And so I was bummed actually that didn't get the limited edition box set because it really is phenomenal artwork wise. Um, and I have a couple of limited edition Radiance films that are just excellent. The way they release their box sets are just awesome. The artwork's awesome. The presentation is great. So I was a little bummed that I didn't get that. And then I started to break it down on what was the deal other than the artwork. And so I actually went with the Criterion one only because of price and availability. Now I wanted to see it, um, a good copy, and although I do again love the Radiance artwork, even in the standard edition, you can look it up. Looks phenomenal. But the that box set really looked great. But I'm happy with the Criterion one here that I have, and so I wanted to break it down a little bit to tell you what the difference was between the two, in case you wanted to save a couple bucks and order the older Criterion one that looks great, or if you're interested in this film and you wanted to pre-order the standard edition of the Radiance film. I'll tell you a couple of differences, and then you can decide, or decide if you even like these. Do you like silent films? Are you into silent films? Silent films are really what got me back into collecting. Uh, Kino Lorber in particular, um, a couple of them in the posters behind me, and just I really enjoy them. At different times when I'm in the mood, I love silent movies, and I love the film soundtrack, and uh, Kino and Criterion has done some great restorations. So, all right, we'll start here. Even in the ad for the the release by Radiance Films here, it states that the feature is a definitive restoration, and the primary version of the film, so the main version of the film, what you get in this Criterion release, the primary version of the film is the same Swedish 2016 restoration used by Criterion. So the main uh, product, the main disc, the main version is the same in this Criterion release. Um, and a little bit about it here that let's see, maybe I can show you um, so you can see um, what I'm looking at here as far as artwork. There you go. So it's a little bit small, but you can see the artwork and see how nice that limited edition box set was. But then, like I said, the standard is still available. So when you're reading through here, you see that the main film is the same used as Criterion. It's a series of eerie vinaigrettes uh, depict images of sorcery and evil on screen, from representation of occultism to religious hypocrisy and chilling witch hunt in the Middle Ages, directed starring Benjamin Christensen. Um, Hexen mixes documentary and fiction forms to create an unsettling brew of prefigures everything from gothic horror to found footage film. Um, this legendary horror film was released in numerous edits. This edition collects 4 such versions of the film for the first time in the UK, including 2K restoration by the original production company, Svensk Film Industry. So you're getting more discs here. So disc 1, you're getting the same that's in a Criterion, plus the great artwork. Great art. Witchcraft Through the Ages is on both. Um, uh, Outtakes. There is the new, uh, I think, appreciation by filmmaker Guillermo del Toro might be a new addition, and then um, disc 2 has what's called the esoteric cut, an alternative cut of the film featuring English intertitles and a soundtrack by Lawrence the Heresy. And there was the whole package. You could see how great the artwork is on that. Radiance does a great job with that. Okay, so let's stop sharing that, and then we'll just get into talking about the film here in full screen. There we go. So there's a couple of differences. I think that you're getting a new uh, interview documentary by Guillermo del Toro. You're getting that second disc with an additional cut of the film uh, with the limited edition and the standard from Radiance. So I don't. So you, if that's important to you to get that extra cut, and you can read about it there. I've read pros and cons about it, but overall, I would say the artwork. I keep stressing the artwork on those Radiance films is really what is selling you, and Criterion, great artwork, and it was a little cheaper because it was old. So the film, we'll talk about it for just a few minutes now, as just this release and the movie. It's a 1922 silent picture. Also, there's so much to add. Okay, this one does have a second or an audio commentary. They both do, but this one has it as well. That has other people talking about the film, but a lot of the reading when you watch the film, and it has the captions. A lot of the reading and some supplemented information and readings are done on this film by William Burroughs, which, if you like him as a writer, which I do, it's fascinating. It's a whole different movie, and in that aspect, when you have that on, it puts a new soundtrack in, and it's something that they did in the '60s, a re-release of this film, and that narration by William Burroughs has a mix-up of a new, like, jazzier type music. So it's a whole different thing. I suggest watching, if you're going to watch this movie, watch it first, just with the subtitles, and then go back. When you go back and watch it with William Burroughs, reading it, it's so familiar to you. He's adding things to it, but you actually feel it's a wild experience. You actually feel like I've already explored this. I've been here before. Even though he's adding things, you feel like you're in on the whole thing. Now, to break the movie down a little bit, it is something that hasn't been done much, and I don't think before they had done this had there been anything like it. And I can't bring up or recall anything like this before. What I read in the beginning, part documentary, part fiction. It takes witchcraft through the Middle Ages, uh, witch hunts, and it breaks it down into a documentary in different sections. Okay, things that were true, things that we believe to be true, things that were fiction, but we keep repeating them over the years. It's all in there as a documentary. Then he goes back after that in different sections and he films like a film and recreates the idea of what he's just talking about. And so, they call it fiction, but a lot of it, he's not taking liberties. Again, some of this stuff, some of it he is, but some of it is documented stories that we all tell Even I can think of Monty Python doing, does she float? Throwing the witch in the water. Does she float? If she sinks, she float. All these ideas are in here. If she sinks, she's not a witch, but she's passed away now. But at least we averted a witch, or what, you know what I mean? So obviously, it's been made fun of and talked about through history. So he takes those ideas and then um, makes a short film out of what he just talked about, or some of what he's just talked about, and then it carries on through different segments. But what I do want to say about again, this film is a film made in 1922. When you watch the film and some of the animation and the makeup and the costume design and puppetry and sets that they designed, it's just absolutely incredible. This movie really is. I mean, Metropolis was incredible, right? But this movie has something, and others, lots of others. Silent films are great when you start looking at these set designs that they created at that time. Just incredible. But this movie for me stands above a lot of the other films just because of the set design. Someone might be walking down a cobblestone street and it's just incredible, or different costume figures, or um, witches flying through the air. Really just incredible. And then one other point I'll make about it is that he kind of wraps it up with then what was modern day in comparison to all those stories through the Middle Ages. What would be at the 1922 comparison? And he breaks it down. And actually, I wouldn't mind having a discussion about this movie with anybody that's interested in the subject, because it's really deep, and I don't want to make this video too long, but he he breaks it down into society in 1922, and he compares. Then they were burned at the stake, and he touches upon, was it witchcraft, or was it mental disorder, was it schizophrenia, was it this, was it that, and then he breaks it down going forward in modern times when someone might act the same way, being not themselves or whatever, and if they were wealthy enough, they might go to a day spa rather than being burned. So he breaks it down and suggests um, the comparison between witchcraft, mental disorder, fiction, what's true in history, what's real in reality. And it's interesting, definitely interesting. Again, I've never seen a film do so many things like this one does. A beautiful score, even to score when William Burroughs does the reading, the jazzier one's cool. This is a really interesting film. And if you're a silent film lover, this is definitely one to add to your collection. This Criterion version does come with a book. It's got artwork on the inside, and it's really well done. I haven't been disappointed with the Criterion one anyway. But again, so other than the alternate cut with Radiance and the beautiful artwork, I think that you would be happy with this version of Haxan. And yeah, bring it on. I love all these silent film releases by Criterion, Kino, Radiance is doing them. When you're in the mood for these are great. And this one in particular is a step above. All right, there it is, Haxan. Check it out. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you haven't been here, welcome. I appreciate you watching. Consider subscribing, hitting a like button. Everyone, consider being a member. We've got some great member videos coming up soon, as well as some live streams and other great stuff. Again, if anybody would like to discuss this movie in the comments or on a live stream, let me know. It runs deep. It's a whole film study, but it's a really, when I say legendary film by Benjamin Christensen, it really is in all aspects. All right. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on Severely Cinematic.